Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your broadcaster, MasterCloud, and I am back for another cast of the Battle for Middle-earth 2, The Lord of the Rings, The Rise of the Witch King. Today's matchup is going to be a 4 versus 4 on the map known as Pelennor Fields. It is with a game that I played with quite a while ago with a lot of some good friends back in the day who like to play Witch King. Of course, you guys will recognize a few of the names. Now, this is a very special video that we put together for you guys. And it is in honor of none other than Christopher Lee. Now, for those of you who don't know, Christopher Lee played Saruman in the Rise of the Witch King, or not the Rise of the Witch King, the Lord of the Rings movies. And of course, Saruman, a very integral part of those movies, and a very sad fact when he did in fact pass away, let's say almost about a year ago now, it seems like. So this was made quite a while ago, back when that happened, but decided to go ahead and get it out to you guys to enjoy. So let me go ahead and without further ado introduce the players. Spawning in the lower right hand corner side is going to be myself as master. Then my ally over here in the center front of the lower side is going to be Motoma. Beneath him is going to be Isengard here spawning as Isengard as well. Of course, I should add, in addition to the fact that this being a special game, we all are playing as Isengard in this game. And finally, our last ally is going to be Lezbolas over on the far left-hand side. Across from Lezbolas, also playing as Isengard, is SayangIsHo. We also have his teammate in the center front is going to be Megrim. Of course, Megrim, many of you will recognize him from some of the tournaments, and very, very good player. Behind Megrim, we find ourselves with Paul, and over along the right-hand side against myself is going to be Phoenix, of course, my good friend as well. So there is an exciting twist to this game as well, and that is that it is a 4K game, and we are all building Saruman to start off the game. So this is a 4K, all Isengard, everyone starts with Saruman game. So you can immediately see that everyone has Saruman out on the field, being good sports about it, building Saruman very early on here, and using him to gain potentially some early advantages. Not a terrible start, however. There are potentially greater starts. However, we did have an agreement everyone would build Saruman, so he is out on the field for everybody here. And the battle is going to begin here. We do have some wildmen moving out across the field. You'll forgive me if I can't remember names right off the top of my head here, as it has been a while since I have looked at some of these units. Looks like our green player here going to be moving in, attempting to do some early harass. Both Sarumans now finding each other and attempting to duke it out. We have a Saruman on Saruman battle going on over here. Who will win, Christopher Lee, or will Christopher Lee die? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. And this battle is going to rage on very slowly here as these two players just allow the Sarumans to kind of duke it out. Along the right-hand side, it looks like I am beginning to work on a couple of these goblin caves, allowing Saruman to grab a little bit of experience. I do have that outpost in the bottom right-hand side. Megrim, in the meanwhile, continuing to fight and is now beginning to deal a significant damage here to Motoma. However, with an additional Saruman showing up, I believe this belongs to Isengard here. That's going to get confusing. He's forced to retreat, and Megrim actually receives the most damage there. And of course, Paul in the back, what is he doing? Looks like he's working over here on the left-hand side, the Goblin Cave, with his Saruman. On the very left-hand side, it looks like we have a little bit of a clash of armies here between the forces of Lezbolas and of, this is going to be SayangIsHo. We're just going to call him Sayang for the purposes of ease of both memory and pronunciation. Don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right in the first place. If I am not, please forgive me, sir. And this battle is going to quickly go in the favor of Lezbolas, although with the reinforcements, it's actually not, as it looks like he will be pushing back down, although plenty of archers and Saruman here. No Saruman along the top here, so I think this should be a pretty easy hold here for Lezbolas as he allows his Saruman to heal shortly. Megrim holding his own in the middle on the right-hand side. Looks like Phoenix is moving in against me. doing little damage to my farm, and gets a great hit with his Saruman. Did not even see him in the thick of things, and takes out almost 2 complete units of archers. And now my Saruman will attempt to get his own Wizard Blast against Phoenix. However, Phoenix, smartly pulling back his troops, is on his game today, and clearly handing me death, I would say. As these archers begin to pick away, the fireball goes down, and now my Saruman in a little bit of trouble, as he could get a pretty good surround here. True, the Wizard Blast still a threat, but for one unit to potentially take down Saruman would be a great pickoff. I do get the Wizard Blast off, do have fireball now if I need to use it. Looks like I'm queuing up to do that, and I might get a great hit right there in the middle. Pretty good hit, take out about a full unit of archers, and my Saruman will in fact fall back. Along the left-hand side, it looks like our white player Lezbolas doing an excellent job pushing in here. His Saruman full health. Now, with the help of the Warg Riders from Paul here, though, this attack is going to be turned back and chased down. Megrim pushing in against Motoma here. Several of these clan steadings going up here as he's trying to get his third one going. These are not cheap buildings, as they do cost, I believe, 600 apiece. The Warg Riders moving through here as well. Looks like our player in the back, Isengard, has been going for, does actually have those Warg Riders of his own coming out. I believe these are his as well. So it looks like a solid hold here from Motoma and Isengard. On the left-hand side, however, Lezbolas still battling a couple of the remnants of this failed attack, I would say. Doesn't look like he did any structural damage. Maybe took out a farm over here, however. One farm going down, not going to be the biggest of deals when there's so many on the map, or so many players at least on the map with farms right now. Of course, those outposts as well, granting a few players greatly increased additional income. In the center, Isengard pushing forward, and once again, Saruman here forced to retreat for Megrim. Megrim Sauron has been kept to level 1 this entire time. An excellent job by our center players here at holding him back, not allowing Megrim to level him up. And Megrim, I guess it looks like he's attempting to just maximize his income right now. He has several of these lumber mills out and about, but he is being pressured here in the center by a bunch of forces. Here comes to his aid the blue player in the back, running through all of these wildmen with these wargs, and that's going to deal a significant amount of damage and put this attack on hold for a little while. Where is Saruman? Here he is getting chased down. Might get the, actually has used the Wizard Blast already, so he is pretty defenseless here. Needs some additional units. Some pikemen might be the answer. Well, actually, I was thinking that these Warg Riders were for the enemy. However, it looks like this should be plenty now to hold off, although the enemy Sarumans are still both here. And I think most of their forces have been taken out, so they will go ahead and retreat. On the left-hand side, Lezbolas building up quite a large army here, taking out a couple of units from Sayang, but is forcing him to retreat now. And I think our left-hand player here doing quite a good job at holding his own. Hasn't really received any help, don't believe, from our player here in the rear. Generally, they are the support player, allowing, because they can't be attacked very easily. It looks like they forgot to capture the signal fire. A little bit of a mistake on our team there. I see a lot of blue on the map. These Warg Riders are just absolutely everywhere. They are now clashing with the Warg Riders of Isengard, who is, of course, on our team. I can't actually remember who played as Isengard. I know they were trolling by putting their name as Isengard, but I don't recall, this game was played so long ago, who it was. Could potentially be Bus Hit, but not for sure. Ooh, here might be a great Wizard Blast going off, taking out a troop of pikemen. However, Phoenix's own spells are up, takes out a couple of my own units here. Might get the Wizard Blast off on these Uruk-hai as well if he is paying attention here. Phoenix, you're going to want to use that before Saruman takes too much damage. Actually, Saruman taking a lot of damage from the archers here, and Lurtz is out for me as well now. There finally comes down the Wizard Blast, But I think with all of that damage coming from Lurtz, Saruman is going to have to retreat here, and Phoenix looking to be in a little bit of trouble. Now one of my allies is moving in as well. This is going to be Isengard as well, moving in from the left-hand side. Phoenix realizing he is in trouble. He is being double-teamed, calling for aid, no doubt, as he has lit the signal fires, requesting aid from his allies, definitely in chat. And looks like he is attempting to build up his fortress, prevent himself from going down, build a stronghold here close into his base. However, my troops are not quite organized, and I'm not ready for this mutual attack here. And it looks like my ally is going to go in by himself, attempt to do as much damage as he can. Might have killed Saruman in that. Didn't actually tell if that was him who died. No, Saruman did escape alive, so Phoenix doing okay there for now. However, in a potential bit of trouble in the center. Paul doing an excellent job, has tons of units here protecting Megrim. Megrim as well. Finally, his Saruman up to level 2. And he is actually just took out the Saruman of Motoma, so it looks like potentially here in the center they do have a chance to push on the left-hand side. Pretty much still a standstill with these Sarumans. The units go down so fast from these wizard blasts that it is difficult to really kind of get something going without a huge army, because your army is going to be taken down so fast by just a few of these spells from Christopher Lee. Alerts out as well now for Lezbolas, as we do see most of our players building them. We do actually have a ballista coming out here for Sayang. Interesting choice. We'll try to begin to siege some of these buildings, or at least take down these troops from range. I don't know why he's fighting here. He's just giving experience to these heroes. That is not what you want to do. Saruman at level 10 using the Wormtongue ability, very powerful. On the left-hand side, I am pushing in. Phoenix here in more trouble, needs to call for aid. Does his allies decide to send help? He doesn't have... where is Paul? I would imagine Paul should have some additional Warg Riders. Looks like he's lost most of his Warg Riders now, though. There, of course, everyone being Isengard, no healing wells allowed. Sharku, or actually that's not Sharku, that's just one of his units. So it looks like does not have the troops necessary right now, but it looks like he might actually be able to hold off this attack himself. Alerts out as well for Phoenix, so I think with all of these units he is holding steady and does go ahead and push me back for now. But once again, here comes an army from my ally Motoma. We will be double teaming Phoenix once again. He looks to be in some trouble. However, in the center, it looks like our opponents are pushing forward, and actually Megrim here going to capture the Saruman here of Motoma, or excuse me, of Isengard, and the other Saruman for Motoma in the front here already down. So this could be a potentially lethal attack, as both Sarumans may go down here. Needs to focus him down if possible. Does he have his own alerts? I don't know. He does have Sharku. Needs to get him in here beginning to attack. And yes, Saruman does go down. Alerts here in the front. Missed him somehow in the midst of all of that battle. And with both Sarumans down here, our middle players looking to be in a little bit of trouble. Did we get enough damage against Phoenix? The answer is not really. I don't know where all of his troops went. Must have been a battle in the midst of that. But it did not go well for our side. Looks like I'll now be pushing in, throwing down a land bonus as well. Should take a look at some of the powers here in just a second so we can figure out kind of who's getting the most damage done. On the left-hand side, these guys still really in a stalemate, very evenly matched. Excellent work along at the side here for both of these players. Saruman's launching Wizard Blasts at each other. And it looks like we're going to get just a little bit of a lull in the action, so I will go ahead and take a look at some of the powers. We see Phoenix with only the vision of Palantir, almost up to that level 10 power. Myself do have the Tainted Land bonus, and it looks like, as we keep going here, Industry bonus here has been chosen by Lezbolas. Looks like he has quite a few power points as he's been battling pretty much the entire time. Motoma, only a couple. Paul, almost to that level 10. Isengard grabbed a couple each. Megrim grabbed 2 of the 5s, up to 7 now. And that is pretty much everybody. So nothing too high yet. A lot of buildings haven't gone down. Both of these Sarumans taking tons of damage. Both of us pulling back at essentially the same time. My alert's not quite able to track him down, and this attack is once again being pulled back. And here comes a major attack from the center by Megrim. Looks like he has captured the Sharku, or the Sharku of Motoma here, and he will go down. And with that, this attack looking to be extremely scary, as I will have to pull back. Actually, some of my troops getting caught, continuing to charge forward. I think this is an obvious misrally or mistake, as these will just feed the flyers here. That is Phoenix grabbing an additional level for his Saruman. All of these units going down. Big mistake on my part there. Definitely miscontrol. And moving in from the side, Megrim now beginning to deal damage to my buildings. Of course, stealing resources with the Wildman here. An excellent use of those troops. The archers should really be working on the ROTWK, though not on the building itself. Additional ballistas here coming out for me, as I could not really get close to Phoenix's fortress. So I believe these are going to be used to push that fortress back. Or not to push the fortress back, but to deal damage to the fortress from long ranges. I really can't get in close, as he does have all of these additional towers now. In the center, this is pretty much owned by Paul and Megrim now beginning to show some of his strength, has Wormtongue out as well, pushing into the center, pushing into the sides, and beginning to deal some very terrible damage. On the left-hand side, both of these units, both of these players still greatly evenly matched, as they will slowly try to push into each other, but no ballistas here for Lezbolas. And without ballistas, does he really have a chance of taking out these buildings? I'm not sure. It might, maybe get a Phoenix, or might maybe get a furnace. Actually, this furnace belongs to Phoenix? Did he run all the way across the map? Oh, I must have missed it. Sayang here actually must have left the game. Yeah, I see now all of his stuff going to orange, so he must have dropped out now that I think about this. And with him dropped out, Phoenix is now controlling both of these. And even though Phoenix is a great player, fighting on two fronts with two different armies, incredibly hard, especially when Lurtz is on the field and can catch your Saruman at any time. And if this Saruman goes down, that is going to be the end of this defense here, I think. Yes, he does fall, and of course, Phoenix can only build one Saruman for himself between his two bases now. So no more additional Saruman for either one, and he's actually getting attacked on this front as well. Those ballistas now coming into huge effect, as they do rain these giant daggers down from the sky, actually killing Lurtz there with that dagger. And with that, Phoenix looking to be in trouble actually on both fronts, as he could not quite divide his attention, and of course don't blame him. Neither of his allies here helping out. Finally moving in is going to be Paul from the center here. However, Megrim is focused on taking me out. I believe this is an attempt here, which I would say I agree with, of attempting to quickly take out one of your opponents if you can. When this sort of thing happens, when of course you lose one of your own players, you want to eliminate one of the opponent's players as quickly as possible to bring things to an even footing. However, I'm not sure he has enough here to actually take down my fortress, which is now beginning to be upgraded if I had some additional income. He does have troops around the backside destroying this area. Could combine all of these, but here comes my ally. It is going to be Motoma, and I think with Motoma here, he might not be able to take out this force, but he should be able to weaken enough where my buildings should be pretty safe. I am continuing to build up here. I have very limited resources, just a few troops left after that attack on Phoenix. These ballistas still in range and beginning to take down the fortress. No troops on the field other than this just one built Urk pikeman here for Phoenix. He does have Saruman here in the very back, so it does have him alive still, a chance. But on the left-hand side, the fortress falls here as the troops of Lezbolas push through. These troops arriving too late to help with that, and with this fortress down, it looks like Lezbolas may be able to continue to push through, might lose his first force here, but as soon as he can push farther in and begin taking on the fortresses of Paul and Megrim, they are going to be in trouble and going to have to pull back their forces. And Paul kind of preparing for that already, building up his own fortress. Megrim not quite defaulting to that at this point, but probably will soon once these forces get closer. Lurtz going down there potentially. This Saruman attempting to run But Lezbolas doing an excellent job here commanding his army. Actually, most of his troops survive. I believe he has upgrades now. Yes, he does. Looks like he has the Forge Blades upgrades on his units, and these are doing terrible, terrible damage as these units are retreating. Saruman here actually taking a ton of damage from those Warg Riders. Goes down. Paul's Saruman now down as well. I have pretty much been taken out of this as I have very little income. It looks like I've managed to take down Phoenix's fortress as well here. I'm missing the fortresses falling, but there wasn't really a great battle over there. I think these ballistas just kind of slowly knocked them down over time, and these players now having to retreat to the very back of their bases. And without Phoenix's fortress up, they're going to be very limited to what they can do in terms of powers, as there's now only 2 players that have powers. And it looks like our southern side, after that player dropped out and it was a 3-on-4, looks like the bottom side here going to be taking a pretty solid lead in this game. Hard to say if we have the game in the bag yet. However, I would say it's definitely leaning heavily in our favor. Additional attacks going on here in the middle of the map. Sort of this epic battle mishmash of all these different forces in here. Can't even really tell who is winning at this point. Only that there is too much action to possibly narrate it, any of it really. Saruman throwing in a fireball there, attempting to take down some of these Warg Riders. Actually, Wormtongue going down. These have Forged Blades, so these heroes go down very quickly to that. Lurtz is in here as well, but I don't know if he can take on this many troops. There's archers in the back as well. Megrim's troops looking to be in a lot of trouble. Saruman and Lurtz attempting to hold off this entire horde by themselves. However, the own Lurtz is here. This is going to be Isengard's Lurtz, and he is going to chase down Saruman, and I think with a couple more swings, he is going to take him out. No, he walks. Oh, he did fall, and Lurtz on Lurtz action here. Might actually get him, but Saruman going down is the more impressive kill between the 2 of those. As I don't know if he can afford to really replace him right now. Does have that lightning tower that he has built. Looks like I'm finally starting to rebuild some of my forces, slowly move forward into the upper right hand side, clear some of this debris from what was Phoenix's. Looks like Phoenix is now rebuilding his own fortress in the back here. Smart decision. However, I'm not sure it's going to be enough to save them, as here on the left-hand side, it is going to be Lezbolas who continues to push forward, taking out the buildings that once belonged to Sayang, now belong to Phoenix, and soon belong to the Earth, as he does collapse those back into dust and rubble. Pushing forward, once he takes this outpost, that is going to be a big kick into the income of Phoenix here, who's attempting to get back on his feet, but I just don't know if it's possible now with so many forces rallied against him here. And through the middle, Megrim now has tons of forces on the field. You can see how quickly he has built up his forces here. Has forces just everywhere, and is now moving on the right side, I guess, to try to take some of my infrastructure out. However, I'm just not sure he has enough to destroy. He may have enough to actually take me out here, but I don't know, even if he attempts to move against my fortress, his own would be in jeopardy. And in fact, Megrim realizes it. He actually leaves the game, as he realizes, even though I have all of these forces on the field, even though my Lurtz is still alive, he did lose his Saruman and his Wormtongue, realizes that this game is pretty much over at this point, as he just can't fight the battle on so many fronts at once against. It's essentially a 2-on-4 now. The Watcher goes down there on a couple of those troops. Paul actually leaving the game, as well as he realizes without Megrim on his team and without Sayang on his team, there's absolutely no hope in winning this game. Phoenix might stick it out to the end. Even if he doesn't, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Not the the greatest Witch King matchup you've all ever seen. However, did want to go ahead and cast this, post this to pay tribute to the late great Christopher Christopher Lee. And, of course, thank him for his role in what I really enjoyed, of course, the Lord of the Rings movies, trilogy. Saruman, a very memorable character indeed. And it looks like we will move in. You guys feel free to stay and continue to watch the destruction of all of these fortresses, as I kind of think Phoenix will probably stick it out to the end. However, it's just going to be a very slow death as we move in with our semi-upgraded forces here at the Slurts. This is not going to work out well for Phoenix, as his Lurts goes down there, is pulling in, and we will slowly move into each of these forces. Forces were pretty evenly matched, I would say, until we had that drop out additional units coming out here for our Isengard player, as he is attempting to get back on his feet after he must have lost them there for a little while. But Lezbolas here with this huge army, going to be very difficult to deal with. And this ballista, you know, actually might be able to deal some pretty good damage as these forces stand still here. Can he get another shot off? Actually is aiming for Saruman, who's actually level 10 here. And of course my keyboard is malfunctioning as I speak here. And did have to quick turn that off and back on. But this fortress looking to be in a lot of trouble. Has Phoenix attempting, actually has quite a few forces, but I mean, this fortress is going down really fast. Additional troops showing up for me on the right-hand side. Do have a couple of ballistas still. Those are, I believe, still the two that I used to defeat Phoenix's fortress originally. This fortress taking terrible, terrible damage. No damage being dealt to the troops on the left-hand side. And even with all the archers here, the fortress will go down, picks up the cash payment of $1250. Great pickup. And from the front, we now have the main forces of Motoma and Isengard moving in. Surprised they actually don't have more, but I think Megrim did a nice job of clearing out some of their farms. Actually, they have quite a few. Must just be investing there. He did clear out some on the right-hand side here. Ooh, we do have the Watcher coming down against, I guess that would be against Phoenix here. Looks like I will once again be dealing damage to the fortress with these ballistas. They might actually get focused down finally. Where are my heroes? I guess just wandering around, taking out a couple of pieces of remaining infrastructure that he has scattered around the map. But really, the main forces here should be quite enough to take out both of these fortresses. No defense left. Unfortunately, the top team had a disconnect. And so this game is slowly going to come to an end here. Yes, I think I might speed it up just so we can get through it all here. Fortress in the front goes down, and Phoenix here desperately trying to starve us out to the end. Maybe all of your opponents disconnect and you win the game. Hey, it can happen. So don't blame Phoenix for it, as this was, of course, a tribute video, so I think he did want to stick it out. And it did take us a little bit to get it together and get everyone to agree to go ahead and make Saruman at the beginning of the game play with 4K game. And actually with one ring being picked up here by the ballista as it goes down. But hero ballista there. And this one Isengard troop has it. This pikeman might not last for very long, and do we have any additional ballistas on the way? This fortress is going to be up for a long time until some ballistas show up to deal with it. And actually Phoenix gets the one ring. He's probably screaming at us to let him get Sauron out on the field, as it looks like, oh gosh, there's a giant force from Lezbolas headed across the map, as he's been pretty much the only one on solid economical footing, I would say, for the majority of the game here. And we will wait for this force to get up to the castle, as I guess we're just kind of taking our time building up our forces. But I mean, here's the force. Look at this force by Lezbolas. You see this at your door, you will absolutely crap your pants if you're standing in that castle looking over the wall, as there is nothing that is going to stop this. I mean, well, like a Balrog or earthquake, maybe a flood. I mean, you know, the shade of wolf. Okay, so there's a couple things that stop this, but you would still be like, holy cow, that's an incredibly large and upgraded force on my doorstep. Am interested to see if he actually gets Sauron out. I don't remember this part of the game. It was so long ago, so it is potentially possible that we waited that long. Saruman going to be coming out as well, and it is Sauron as he joins the field in this epic Christopher Lee tribute video here that I hope you guys are enjoying. And we will go ahead and watch if Sauron can deal with these wildmen. I don't know. It's going to be pretty close. Does he even get a swing in before they all die? Maybe he killed one of them. And Sauron now heading to the left with Saruman as they do attempt to focus down. Oh, gosh. Oh, please call down the hail of fire on this. Oh, please. Please, can you do that? Here it is. Or Fires of Doom, it's called, I think. Or I guess for Sauron. I believe the spell is Hail of Fire. But, or Meteor Shower or something. And Lezbolas sees it. He's trying to pull his troops away. Can he get away from Sauron? That is the... Oh, no, he's bunching up. This is a mistake. This is not what you want to do. Call it down. Call it down. Bring down rain of fire upon your enemies. And actually, Sauron might actually go down pretty quick to all these upgraded pikes. Finally calls... What? Actually just walking around trying to get in a good spot to hit, but is not controlling Sauron the most effectively here, taking a surprising amount of damage. And finally, there it is. It's going to come down. And with that, this troop from Lezbolas not doing so well. And just like that, no army. On the right-hand side, do I have more ballistas? Yes, setting them up now. And just waiting to see if I'll ever take down this fortress. I think at this point our other players just kind of taking their time in no rush to sort of end the game. Just it's nice at the end of some of these games to just kind of sit back and build up. But sooner or later, all good things must come to an end. The fortress taking some damage as these ballistas continue to shoot at it. Looks like they all will go down. If he destroys my ballista production facilities... Oh, we have a ton more up over here. We have landmines now coming in from one of our players, Motoma, bringing in the landmines to deal with this. Maybe not the most efficient... Well, actually, it is probably the most efficient method. But those went up fast as those bombs did go off there. There is... Oh, that's why. They has fire arrows, so these explode as soon as they die. That will happen if you kill the bomb carriers with fire arrows. And trying to see if this fortress ever goes down here. Couple of watchers going down. But honestly, guys, I'm just trying to buy time here until the end of the game now. Don't really want to cut it off early as, well, it's nice to be casting, and nice to get this video up for you guys to enjoy. So it just feels wrong to end it early here, so we will wait for the fortress to go down. I do, of course, appreciate you guys tuning in, supporting the channel. I am in retirement for those of you who are not aware and wondering why I'm not making videos. I am in casting retirement. However, decided to go ahead and upload this for you guys. So I do hope you enjoy. Do apologize for it not being... Oh, gosh, not again. Do apologize for it not being a more... Gosh, look at that. Look at that force. Just instantly goes down as Sauron deals with that. Oh, he might finally go down here. This could be the end as we have a ton of troops coming in from the top side here. And this fortress is now getting dealt a ton of damage. The lightning strike goes down. It's not hitting most of these troops, though. And I think the fortress may, in fact, fall here. Too many troops. Sauron still alive, just barely. Watcher going down. Sauron trying to get back in time is not going to be enough. The fortress falls, and with that, Sauron may actually fall too. I don't think he can actually fight these units if they would focus him down. But I'm actually going for the kill here on Phoenix, taking out his last 2 buildings. If I can get them. I need to actually just turn around and deal with Sauron. I think that was probably a mistake, as these units may focus him now instead. And no, he's not going to be focusing him, as this building does go down. But guys, do appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the cast. Here's the Dragon Strike coming in. Goodbye, final building. And with that, we conclude this cast. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this cast, and hope to see you all in the future for potentially more casts? Question mark. MasterCloud signing out. Signing off.